Good morning, dear students. Once again, welcome back to the world of English literature. We are continuing with the short story which we have started in the last class. That is chapter number 9, My Greatest Olympic Prize by Jesse Owens, part 2. Do you remember where we have stopped in the last class? We were discussing about the fouls which made by Jesse Owens because of his anger, and he started to think, or he started to ask himself whether he came to here after traveling 3000 miles for making these kinds of mistakes. So there we have stopped in the last class. Today we are going to continue with the next part of this same chapter. Walking a few yards from the pit, I kicked disgustedly at the dirt. Suddenly, I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned to look into the friendly blue eyes of the tall German broad jumper. He had easily qualified for the finals on his first attempt. He offered me a firm handshake. So when Jesse Owens made 2 fouls, he made 2 attempts, and both those 2 attempts were fouls. So he got disappointed, he got disturbed, and he was angry too. So after completing his second attempt, because in the second attempt it was worse than the first one, so he was walking back to the place to begin or to start the third attempt. So walking a few yards from the pit, I kicked disgustedly at the dirt. So you might be having that experience. When we walk through the road, suddenly if we get angry, we will kick on something which we see or which is being appeared in front of us. Same way, Jesse Owens was also frustrated. He was also angry because of his 2 failed attempts. That's why he kicked disgustedly at the dirt. Suddenly, I felt a hand on my shoulder. So when he was fully discharged, when he was not at all happy, when he was angry, he felt a hand on his shoulder. I turned to look into the friendly blue eyes of the tall German broad jumper. So when he turned, so somebody put the hand on his shoulder, he turned to look, or he turned back to see who is that. And there he had seen, or his eyes stuck with the eyes of the person who was standing behind him. He had seen there, or he looked into the friendly blue eyes of the tall German broad jumper. So the blue eyes is referring to the person. It is referring to Luzlong, who is an opponent of Jesse Owens. So blue eyes is referring to the German broad jumper, or his name is Luzlong. So when he turned and he had looked into the friendly blue eyes of the tall German broad jumper, he had easily qualified for the finals on his first attempt. So he was so confident, and he got qualified in the Olympics in his first attempt itself. He offered me a firm handshake. So he was so cool, that way he offered a shake hand to Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens, I'm Luzlong. I don't think we have met. He spoke English well, though with a German twist to it. So that person who offered Jesse Owens a firm shake hand, a firm handshake, he introduced himself by saying that, Jesse Owens, I'm Luzlong. So the blue-eyed person, his name is Luzlong. I don't think we have met. So both of them are actually enemies, not enemies, but they are competing in the same event. They are participating in the same event. So for Jesse Owens, Luzlong is his opponent. competitor. So in every time, opponents may not be very familiar, they may not be having a very good relation, but here Luzlong was a man of a great heart. He introduced himself by saying that I'm Luzlong. I don't think we have met. He spoke English well, though with a German twist to it. So he was born and brought up in Germany. That's why his English was not as good as like Jesse Owens. But he spoke English well with an accent of German language or German accent. Glad to meet you, I said. Then, trying to hide my nervousness, I added, how are you? So when Luzlong introduced himself to Jesse Owens, in return Jesse Owens said, glad to meet you. So he followed the formality. So in return he replied, glad to meet you. And by saying it, he was trying to hide his nervousness. And in order to hide the nervousness, he added, how are you? Just for a formality, he asked to Luzlong, how are you? I'm fine. The question is, how are you? So Luzlong replied to Jesse Owens by saying that he was fine. And he asked a question. The question is, how are you? Because Luzlong understood there is something wrong with Jesse Owens. That's why he has asked his question with the phrase, the question is, I am asking you, how are you? What do you mean? I asked. In return, Jesse Owens tried to hide his nervousness and he told, what do you mean? He acted like he didn't understand what is being asked by Luzlong. So what do you mean? I asked. Something must be eating you, he said. Proud the way foreigners are when they have mastered a bit of American slang. You should be able to qualify with your eyes closed. So Luzlong told, there is something wrong with you. Something must be eating you. There is something disturbing you. There is a disturbing element I can see in you. That's what he meant by the question, how are you? He said, and the way he spoken to Jesse Owens was really impressive for him. Proud the way foreigners are when they have mastered a bit of American slang. Because the way Luzlong spoke to Jesse Owens was really impressive. And again, Luzlong continued by saying to Jesse Owens, you should be able to qualify with your eyes closed, which means you are really talented. You have such potency. You have such caliber and capacity, which means even if you try by closing your eyes, you will be getting qualified. And he told this statement to make sure that Jesse Owens is very much confident. That means he has to know his own talent. That's why Luzlong told, you should be able to qualify with your eyes closed because you are having that much talent. Believe me, I know it, I told him, and it felt good to say that to someone. So in return, Jesse Owens told to Luzlong, believe me, I know it, because you have to remember the particular point which we have seen in the last class. Because when he was at Ohio University, he made a few number of records. So he told, believe me, I know it, I told him. And it felt good to say that to someone. Actually, he was nervousness about Luzlong, but when Luzlong himself told that you are really talented, you should be able to qualify with your eyes closed, it gave a huge amount of confidence in the minds of Jesse Owens. It felt good to say that to someone. For the next few minutes, we talked together. I didn't tell long what was eating me, but he seemed to understand my anger and he took pains to reassure me. Although he had been schooled in the Nazi youth movement, he didn't believe in the Aryan supremacy business any more than I did. So when Lushlong encouraged Jesse Owens by saying that even by closing your eyes you will be getting qualified, it gave a huge confidence in the minds of Jesse Owens. So he got relaxed, and that's why they were able to speak even for a few number of minutes. For the next few minutes we talked together. I didn't tell long what was eating me. So Lushlong asked Jesse Owens about what was the disturbing element, what something is eating you. So Jesse Owens never told what was the disturbing element, but Lushlong understood about the anger of Jesse Owens, and he had taken pains to relax Jesse Owens, reassure me. So he had taken enough stress and pain to solve or decrease Jesse Owens' anger. Although he had been schooled in the Nazi youth movement, he didn't believe in the Aryan supremacy business any more than I did. Which means Lushlong got trained in the Aryan schools, Nazi school, but still he was not believing in the Aryan supremacy theory like what was believed by Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens was not believing in the Aryan supremacy theory. The same way, even though Lushlong got trained in the Nazi youth movement or Nazi schools, he was not having any belief about the Aryan supremacy theory. We laughed over the fact that he really looked the part though, an inch taller than I. He had a lean, muscular frame, clear blue eyes, blonde hair, and strikingly handsome, chiseled face. Finally, seeing that I had calmed down somewhat, he pointed to the takeoff board. Here there is a new vocabulary for you, chiseled, which means having an attractive, well-framed shape. Or in other words, we can see like sculptures. They are chiseling the statue for making it more beautiful. For making a statue, the stone has to undergo the process of chiseling. So it will get a good shape. So we laughed over the fact that he really looked the part though. So an inch taller than I, he had a lean muscular frame. So they were talking about number of things and they were laughing about it, especially about how he looks like. Looked the part means suitable for certain job. It's an idiotic usage. So they were talking about it and they were laughing. What was the specialities? An inch taller than I means Lushlong was almost 1 inch taller than Jesse Owens. He had a clean muscular frame. His body was so fit and he was have a very strong muscular structure. Then clear blue eyes. We have already seen it. So he was having a very clear blue eyes. Then blonde hair, which means golden colored hair, and strikingly handsome. He was looking really handsome. And chiseled face. Even his face also were very stiff and very hard. It was looking like. So they were talking about all these factors and they were laughing. Finally seeing that I had calmed down somewhat, he pointed to the takeoff board. So after talking for a number of minutes, he found, which means Lushlong found that Jesse Owens has got some relax, or he calmed down. Then he told Jesse Owens to move towards the takeoff board and get ready for the last chance. Look, he said, why don't you draw a line a few inches in back of the broad and aim at making your takeoff from there? You'll be sure not to foul, and you certainly ought to jump far enough to qualify. What does it matter if you are not first in the trials? Tomorrow is what counts. So before Jesse Owens moved to the jumping to the starting point, Lislong given him a tip, an advice. What was that? He told, just look, why don't you draw a line a few inches in back of the broad and aim at making your takeoff from there? Which means, you might have seen in long jump, before the pit there will be a line from there the person has to leap. So here Lislong says, why don't you draw a line few inches in back of the broad line and aim at making your takeoff from there? And again he told, make sure that this time you are not making a foul, and you certainly ought to jump far enough to qualify. Of course you are talented, so definitely you will get qualified. You will jump enough, or you will jump far enough to qualify. And finally he concluded it by saying that, what does it matter if you are not first in the trials? Tomorrow is what counts. Anyway, this is a trial time. This is a time where we are getting qualified. This is not the final one. Then why are we worrying, or why are you worrying about jumping as far as you can? Because tomorrow is what counts. What you are going to do today, it doesn't matter. It will be just helping to you to get qualified. But when you perform better tomorrow, it counts. Today it is not counting, but tomorrow it counts. That's why he told, what does it matter if you are not first in the trials? Tomorrow is what counts. Tomorrow, how you are going to perform, it counts. Not what you are doing today. Then why are you worrying about it? By saying this advice, Lislong sent Jesse Owens to the starting point. So dear students, I hope that you have got a very clear picture. You have got a very clear idea about what we were discussing today. Tomorrow we will continue with the same chapter, and there we will come to know what really had happened after getting the advice from Lislong. How Jesse Owens was able to get qualified. All those things we will see in the next class, and we will meet again in the next class with the remaining part of the chapter. Still then, I would like to sign off. Thank you.